Hi, happy Monday. So both Lucas and Taylor are out. So here we are. So in the spirit of one should never miss a meeting, I suggest we go ahead and just assign everything left to Lucas and to Taylor, and we just all go home. Y'all good? All right, fabulous. See you later. No, kidding. All right. All right. Let's go ahead. We've got a relatively short agenda. Uh, as I mentioned, for those that were able to attend office hours this past Thursday, I want to take 5 to 10 minutes and go project by project, whatever has the highest criticality of vulnerabilities. Now let's figure out what to do with them. This is the tie into the dog fooding aspect of this. So I was going through looking at, so Breakman and secrets, we've got remediation plans for. And so I was looking through this, and it was either going to be ESLint or it was going to be spot bugs. So I went ahead and decided for ESLint because it's got a couple of things from dependency scanning that I thought would be good for us to discuss. And what I'm looking for us to do is to go through whatever we can in 5 to 10 minutes and identify, is this a false positive or do we need an issue to remediate this particular problem? Does that work? Okay.
Can I ask real quick about, oh wait, nope, never mind. For a moment there, I thought ESLint was Node.js scanner, where
Nope.
we're going to revamp how it's done. Never mind.
Yeah, nope.
Continue on.
Yeah, deliberately avoided Node.js scan, by the way. So, and the other one that I am deliberately trying hard to avoid, but we're not going to be able to for much longer, is security code scan. That's going to be a pain in the neck because of Mono and Microsoft and everything else. And yes, I am keeping this completely off of YouTube as a result of this commentary. All right, I'm going to share screen and let's just go from high to low. 1, 2, 3, but I suggest we do it in order 1, 3, 2. This. So the chat, go ahead, please.
Oh, no, go ahead. You were about to probably explain what I was going to ask.
Well, it's calling out the vulnerability to that particular package. And the solution is to update the version. Or is it?
Are we up to date on ESLint?
You ask so complicated questions.
Yeah, also, we rely so heavily on upstream scanners, open source. The solution for some of these may be contributing to those, I guess, right? Like if that's where the dependency problem is. So is that going to be the solution for some of these, I guess? Probably. I guess that's not a bad thing. We can start developing those relationships. Worst case, we fork. That's absolute worst case, of course. And again, it's nice to see it on YouTube. When I say that, that's not the most polite thing to say, but.
The challenge that yes, we're up to date. That got merged in last week.
Okay.
The challenge that I'm having with this one is this is the package that got flagged. This is not one that we directly import. There are multiple versions that are used depending upon
who's using it. Yeah.
Who's using it.
Yeah, it seems deep into the scanner itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it needing to address likely potentially 4 up the tree, depending upon how far down kind of is used.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. It seems non-trivial fix, but we might be vulnerable still to the problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure. Go ahead, please.
Could create an issue as like good initial upstream contributions label of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how we have one that's like open for, first time contributors. Like, I know we want to potentially find ways to be contributing to the open source projects, and maybe this is a good lightweight way to like look into. Okay, well, you're not digging too deep into ESLint. You're just trying to update some dependencies to fix security patches, and maybe it's easy, maybe it's not. But when we have some room in an iteration, maybe we could say, okay, let's try to tackle this. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Am I reading this correctly? This is specific to version 6.0.2 of this
Mm-hmm.
package.
Yes, that's what it looks like to me.
If, if that's correct,
Yeah, that just needs to go to 1 or 3, I guess.
that's their bogey. That's the bogey.
Yeah.
So is there a way in, this is me showing my limits of knowledge in Yarn. Is there a way to impact dependencies of dependencies?
I don't.
Or to know exactly which version we have installed?
Yeah. So you're looking. I think you're looking at the yarn lock, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right there it says, well,
So
maybe
this
not.
so this is carroted. So I know that means that it goes to anything that's compatible. So you could get a dot version or a patch version above this.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you how you figure it out. So we're looking at the dependencies, and then they that list out their dependencies. You need to search for kind ofs. Kind of is in here. So keep searching for kind of. Keep going until you find
Yeah.
its entry, and it'll tell you what version it's locked to. There we go. So it looks like it's locked to version 603. Is that right?
Which is
So,
the remediation.
so is this a gymnasium bug?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a false positive. This is something that's been remediated. We can close this out with commentary. Okay. All right.
Yay. Cool.
All right.
Nice.
All
This is
right.
a great way to start the week.
All
Already flying high.
right. All right. This one.
Sorry. Could this be also the case of this problem has since been it was correctly found and has since been fixed, and we just need to confirm that it's fixed, as opposed to being a bug in Gymnasium?
Oh, that's a good question. When was it originally reported? Right?
Okay, well, it's detected 1 day ago, so maybe not.
No.
Okay.
This may be a bug.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, obviously you just turned dependency scanning on, so
yeah,
it makes sense that it's a recent thing.
Yeah.
That was a really good call out, though.
This may be a bug in its detection logic of which version of this dependency we're using. So yeah, I'll write something up. I'm going to dismiss this as a false positive with the link straight back to the yarn lock file that's in question that we're already on the version 6.0.3, which was the remediation, suggested remediation for this particular item. Okay. One more. This is the unknown one, but this is one that I'm concerned about, and we see this one across a lot of stuff that we have today. A lot of the analyzers.
So it's vulnerable. Is it still vulnerable in the latest version of GoYAML?
Yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
It is. Come on, GoYAML. Huh.
Well, I don't know about GoYAML. So upgrade 2.2.3.
Oh, okay. So it might have a fix. Cool. But it's was this the one that was a major version difference?
No.
Oh, cool. It's likely that, we have transitive dependencies on it too. That's what it looks like, maybe.
Okay, so this needs a little bit of investigation as far as where we're getting it from.
That's what I see. I'll let others speak though.
So, to the expansion. This is a YAML bug in the GoSum file. Is that what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And if we're looking at the GoSum file, and let's look at current. It looks like we've got it declared twice, 2.2.2 and 2.3.0. Okay, so go find out where this is coming from, and that should remediate it, 2.2.2.
Sounds about right to me. And it might be the same thing as what we were thinking ESLint was, where it might be another dependency that we're depending on needs to update their lock.
Okay. Well, it's looking at what we have, and it's looking at what we're including, what we're calling. So I want to go find out if we're calling on two different versions of this YAML.v2 package within our own application, in which case we need to standardize on one and move on with life.
Oh, is this Zach? I didn't know I was talking to you on one of your issues where you fixed where we were including v2 of secrets and we needed to update to v3.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be like if we started using v3 in one place, but we were still using v2 importing in another place? Would that be this too? Would that?
Yeah,
be
so that's where it would show up.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it could be that we're using v2 or two different versions in the same project.
Cool. All right.
So,
right. Go hunt, issue to be filed, we'll get it remediated. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go through some of their high criticality stuff. And so thank you all for entertaining this premise. We will become more efficient at this, and I'm going to do better at calling out what project I want to investigate. I'm going to try to get this on the agenda end of day Thursday. That way there's Friday and Monday for everybody to prep, and we can talk through it, and we can go through more. Okay. Zach, here, sir.
yep. So this morning, actually, like around 8 a.m., I got an issue in GitLeaks where there was someone from a company called Giant Swarm, and they were like, hey, your GitLeaks action in GitHub is scanning our entire repo when really it should be scanning just commits in a certain PR, which is a big no-no because that's, it was timing out on the GitHub actions. I think you get 15 minutes of scan time. So they had a huge repo, and so it was scanning for 15 minutes, which sometimes happens if you have a large repo. That's not the intended behavior of GitLeaks in the context of running against a PR or MR. And the way that GitLeaks, the scanner, was doing that was you provide a commit from and a commit to, and go get the Git engine in GitLeaks would figure out what commits to scan. And so it essentially just does a git log, but there is a reachability issue where if you have a from commit that is like cherry picked or like a part of a merge commit, there's some reachability issues where like it will never reach the to commit until it's gone through like the entire repo or like a chunk of the repo, or sorry, a chunk of the commits. Just the way that, I mean, Git's kind of it's a graph. It's not, just one. You don't go from just one commit down, it branches. So there's some issues there. What solution that I created and released this kind of early this morning was it's a dumb solution, but it works. You just provide a list of commits. So instead of providing 2, you provide all the commits that you want to scan, so that this is like, you don't have the potential to scan an entire repo worth of commits. You just have, this is what I want to scan, and that's it. So I created an issue because this relates to the secret detection template, which is live right now, and I haven't heard any issues come up from it, but the like GitLab org project, which is huge, that is still using secret SAS. So that is not using the commit ranges. So to me, this is like, okay, well, I don't want secrets to, you know, hold up MRs on this big project. So I created an issue there and proposed a solution. We could either update GitLeaks with the most recent version and update the template, or we could do a quick fix right now, which is just remove the range like commits, it's like the secret detection job, and just use the secret detection default branch, but change it back to the like old secret SAS, so it essentially mirrors that behavior, which is like the quick solution that gives us some time so that we can update and fix this and scope this for another release. But I just wanted to bring that up because it is kind of a big issue that hasn't exposed itself on GitLab yet. So
Zach, so you mentioned that it's a graph of commits. So is there any possibility to have a cycle while you are traversing through that graph of commits for finding secrets?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So what is the actual issue for the traversing the graph of commits? It's taking too much time, or?
No, it's traversing extraneous commits. So it's because you're supplying just two commits right now. That's how it is right now. But there is no guarantee that there's a linear path between these 2 commits. You know, you could just put in whatever 2 commits. What's going to happen is GitLeaks is going to say, okay, this is my starting commit, this is my ending commit. How do I get from here to here? GitLog is going to do that, you know, but the order of GitLog is not necessarily the order that you want. And so that's why providing just a list of commits, so you have to be explicit in what you want to scan. That is the like I say, kind of dumb solution, but it's dumb and boring, and it's the one that works. So, you know, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. So there's no, as far as I understood, like there's no graph traversal from your source to destination, any depth first or breadth first search, something like that, right? Or
well, there is, like, you can change the order that you want to traverse, but again, there's no guarantee that the from commit is going to end up in the to commit without going from like a merge branch or something, you know. So it could take a detour. It's just that there is no guarantee, essentially.
so is there any way to understand there is no, we will not reach to destination after some point? Is there any way to figure out that there's no way to go there from source to destination?
I mean, this is kind of getting into the internals of GitLog, which I am not an expert in. And the Git engine that GitLeaks is using is not the full Git, so it doesn't have all the options for GitLog. I'm sure there's a way in the pure GitLog to check and make sure, but again, it's the engine that I'm using is limited, and I'm using it because performance benefits and stuff, rather than shelling out Git commands. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll be snarky. Just tell them to switch to GitLab. Get off GitHub Actions. Just come over to GitLab to get the latest.
Well, but the problem would still exist on GitLab, I think. It's generating the commits the exact same way.
Yeah.
So I think if I hear correctly, the problem was exposed via GitHub Actions, but we're vulnerable to it as well. It's just that GitLab's big repo is not using our latest version of secrets. If they were to switch to it today, we'd be blocking a lot of MRs.
Correct. Yeah. Potentially. Yeah.
That makes sense. And that's partially due to how we were starting to think about how to do fuller scans rather than just the commits in an MR. Or I guess latest commit maybe is how it worked.
It's because we want to scan commits in the MRs where it's a range. Before it was just scanning files at the latest.
Yeah, at the latest,
So.
right. So we were extending that, but we did that in a way that does open up the possibility of accidentally then, well, to get from A to B, we need to traverse all of the whole history. And now that's untenable to do in CI. And so we've got a quick fix, which is a little dirty, but not awful. That gives us time. And we have a more thorough fix as well proposed. I think some of that is probably, is that Taylor's choice, Thomas? I think it sounds like both are technically viable options. So it's really about prioritizing some of that secret feature work and completeness, so to speak. Because the quick fix is taking a step back, right? It's just saying, okay, we'll just always just do the one commit rather than the range of commits. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I was proposing. And this is something that I was after. Oh, no, I kind of wanted to just do this. Do this fix, do the proper fix, after hours, open everything up and just do it because I kind of feel responsible for this. But I don't know.
All right, this is recorded, but I'm still going to give two answers to your question. The official answer is yes, this is Taylor's call. The reality of what we're going to do is that we're going to lean in on a bias for action. We're going to go ahead and fix it. And we're going to tell Taylor we're doing it. And if you want to, if you got something else that you would like to trump, let us know. But we're not going to wait. We're going to lean on an availability of the platform because that's really what we're talking about here, and viability for large projects. And there are big strategic plans for secret detection as a feature that we want to make sure that this works for. So we're aligned with company priorities. So when we're ready, we do it.
Cool. So that means that 13.4, I can go ahead and assign this to
when you're locked and loaded, make it happen, man.
Cool.
So, how about
Sounds
that?
good. Yeah, I like that answer.
Yeah. All right.
What would you estimate the weight to be, Zach, of the proper fix?
I'm hoping to get something in by end of day, open all the MRs and that.
Oh, okay. Taylor will come back from vacation and be like, "Oh, you guys did a cool thing."
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I'll save my follow-up question to our one-on-one, Zach. I'm just curious why you went with GitLog as opposed to Git Rev List. And so.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I was curious.
Someday you'll have to do a brown bag digging deep into your design decisions on Git leaks. That'd be a fun brown bag for what it's worth. And it probably would be really informative to those who want to dig deeper into Go as well. So just throwing that out there.
For sure. Yeah, I'm making note of that.
All right, I think my item is the next one. Zach, are you done?
Yep.
Cool. It looks like you already answered me, so I'll just verbalize for the video though. What is the status of the issue that has to do with our tests? Wow, there's a weird backtick in that link, huh? And then Zach, you said all MRs related to this issue have been merged, waiting for milestone release. So yeah, so I'm just wondering, as we say now, when does it reach true prod, or true prod true? Or I'm trying to remember the term.
Truer than true prod.
Truer than true. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if anyone has seen if it's been deployed or not. This is probably a good opportunity for me to go dig into the internals to see how can I know what version of GitLab's deployed. Just realized
We should be able to look on the MRs, particularly if they're in the monolith or part of the omnibus, and this you should be able to see the code progress from workflow staging, workflow canary to workflow production, and that should tell you what environment the code is deployed on.
Well, and they follow that strictly, or it's automated to where that
Should be automated.
Yeah.
Accurately. Okay, I'll go look there. That answers my question. Thank you.
So the environment name is GPRD for GitLab prod, I guess. It's not completely obvious if you're in a hurry. And there's also a chat ops way that you can check a specific commit to see if it's on GitLab.com. I usually rely on what Thomas referred to as looking in the MR, but it's another way you can do it.
Okay, so the first one, use new SAS variables. I see workflow as production.
Should be on production today.
Where would I see GRPD in here?
You wouldn't. It's GPRD. GPRD.
Where would I see that? Is that a label? Is that what you're saying? Or?
No, it's like a little comment type thing. I would just search for it because it's only going to be in one place, and you can search for canary. And I think staging is GSTG. I could actually look at something.
Okay, I see the comments here. Like, release tool bot added canary, and then it added production. Okay, so I should actually be live. It sounds like maybe.
Yeah.
So I can test it out.
Yeah, if the MRs have made it to production, we should be clear to verify and close, or verify and put on our brown pants and put up another MR. So apologies for that. This is what happens when I get a lack of sleep or quality sleep, is I get really, really, really punchy. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I do know that I had it fail 8 hours ago, so I don't know when it went to production, but I'll go test it. We'll see. It really isn't the end of the world if it's still blocking. I've got a lot of work to do. So, but just trying to like understand, because well, Thomas, I know you've got some things in flight too, and we've got some coordination things we were hoping to get to today on Monday. So, worst case, it gets kicked down a little bit further. No big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, none of us are bored here.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet.
Do you want me to go over time and do a demo?
How long's your demo? But yeah.
I could probably do it in 3 minutes or so.
Let's do it. Anybody that needs to drop, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll keep going.
Share my desktop. So it's I'm just showing you, well, yeah, I guess it is a demo. So this is the custom rule set pass through. And so there's an issue that I'm working on, and we're doing a very simple first iteration where we want to add a GoSec rule. And so I went with the original design, which is let's provide a TOML file that has a pass through. So essentially, this is right here. This is the SAS rules.toml. So this is going to contain all the custom rule sets. So if we wanted to add a ESLint custom rule, you'd have a top level ESLint table, and then you'd have descriptions and the pass-through table as well. And you'd specify, okay, is it a file or is it, I think, raw, where you would actually put in the config that you want to pass through right there. But for each analyzer, the implementation of how it parses those rules is going to be a little bit different. So, so here's the structure, right? So this is the Go test file, or the Go test project. Oops. And if you want to take a look, it's on the no DND, or yeah, DND freeze custom rule set branch. So then we have, I guess, the pipeline. This is just showing, okay, loading config from custom rules that pass through. So this is just the info that I have, or a log rather, that I have in the actual analyzer. And like in the code, what this looks like. So this is the GoSec analyzer. And so here's where we're loading in the rules. So we have rules.load rule. We give it a path and then an analyzer. And this gives you a rule, which can then be down here where I'll clean this up, but essentially we're overriding the config path to use the rule that we specified. The, I guess, more interesting part, where this is kind of where some of the bulk of the work is like, here is the actual, this is in common right now. And so we have a struct representing a rule, and a load rule function, which is used by, or will be used by, all the analyzers. So you give it a path, again, analyzer string, and then you get returned a rule. So essentially the analyzers kind of just figure out, okay, like down here, again, I'll clean some of this up, but it's like, okay, if there's a rule pass through, then we want to override the config path with this rule, and use that for the config for the GoSec scan. So that's a little demo of it working right now. I haven't opened any MRs, but this is kind of just the very basic first iteration for GoSec. So yeah, I don't know. Anyone got any questions?
Can you show the CI config real quick?
Sure. Oh, this is master. So it's just a test job again.
Okay, so this would be the replacement to the Ghost, like for GoSec specifically, this would be the replacement to the ability to pass in the environment variable that we added from a community contribution a few milestones ago.
Correct. Yeah. So basically, yeah. And what it does is that load rules function detects, okay, is there a .GitLab file, or sorry, directory, and is there a present like rules? And if there is, use that. So yeah, that's where it's at. I'll be opening some MRs for this, but probably after the secret stuff.
Sorry,
Is that a threat?
Sorry, I missed one.
Sorry, Sakat, go for it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So, what is the purpose of pass through? I missed that.
It's kind of like the first iteration of allowing users to customize the rules that they want their scanners to run. So by default, they might not want certain rules for GoSec because they know that their code is riddled with this crap. So they want to turn it off. Or maybe they're like, okay, well, we have some additional rules that we want to add that aren't in the default configuration. So that's the kind of end goal.
Another thing. So we may So we have some default rules. Do we have any rule name or rule ID? And if we have that, if we have a custom rule with the same name, so will it override the default rules?
That's a good question. Yeah, so the pass-through allows you to pass in a scanner-specific configuration. So it's just rules specifically to the scanner. I have the same question. Yeah, is that the way you have it implemented right now? It doesn't merge, right? It just passes in the file and then it passes along to the scanner, right?
Yeah, it's overwriting. Yeah. And so there's a discussion in the I think in the Epic or in one of those issues where I brought up, okay, what about merging configs? Yeah, and I don't think, I think for the first like MVC, it's just going to be, if you provide custom rules, it's going to override.
Yeah, it's basically effectively an escape hatch for you're saying, oh, I can see what they're doing. They're going deep into the internals of the wrapped scanner at that point. So here be dragons, kind of an idea, allows them an escape hatch, I'd say. So, and then we'll continue to layer on, and ideally, less and less folks should ever need to use that escape hatch, I think is the hope, right?
Yeah.
So keep it simpler for now. Merging would be pretty complex.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Yeah, in future maybe. Yeah, so this is not for this. When we have a user guided experience later in future, maybe we we can notify the user you're going to override this default rule if you make this change. Just keep in the top of our head. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. Have like a big glaring note.
System red if it's designed by engineers.
Yeah, that always comes out best. Tongue firmly planted in cheek with that. All right. We're well over. Thanks, everybody. Very much appreciate you. Hope you have a good rest of your week. I've got a question that I added super late. I'm going to move that over to our channel because a week from today is a holiday. So what do we want to do? Yeah, 3-day weekend. So that's great. So what do we do with this meeting? Do we cancel or do we move this to Tuesday? So we'll do a poll over in the static analysis channel, and we'll go with whatever wins. So thank you. We'll talk soon. See you soon. Bye.